The Sikorsky Black Hawk flies wherever the United States Army serves, whether in fast-moving war, tense peacekeeping, or disaster relief. For combat support, combat service support, medevac, special operations, and electronic warfare, the Black Hawk is Army aviation. Over 1,500 Army Black Hawks now serve with active duty and National Guard units around the world. The Black Hawk is America's helicopter. The Army has developed specialized versions of the Black Hawk to serve its battlefield needs. The UH-60A and UH-60L for utility transport. The EH-60A and EH-60L Quick Fix for electronic warfare. The MH-60L and MH-60K for special operations. And the UH-60Q for specialized medical transport and en route treatment. Black Hawk derivatives will also provide integrated command and control on the digital battlefield. Whatever their mission, all Army Black Hawks share a common heritage of power, survivability, and crashworthiness. The utility tactical transport aircraft system specified by the Army in 1971 was hardened by the lessons of Southeast Asia. As a result, the twin-engined UH-60A Black Hawk emerged in 1974 with ballistically hardened flight controls, redundant hydraulic and electrical systems, a self-sealing, crash-resistant fuel system, and energy-absorbing landing gear and crew seats. The UH-60 was made to fly soldiers into battle. The Black Hawk first went to war in Operation Urgent Fury, the invasion of Grenada in October 1983. UH-60s of the 82nd Airborne Division and the 57th Medical Detachment of the 18th Airborne Corps were in the fight to evacuate American civilians and restore order. The Black Hawk passed the ultimate survivability test when a wounded pilot kept flying with 76 bullet holes in the airframe, 2 in the main rotor, and 1 in the tail rotor. Black Hawks placed Special Operations Forces at key objectives and evacuated wounded to Navy ships. When Special Operations Forces patrolled the Persian Gulf in Operation Earnest Will in 1987, the Night Stalkers of Task Force 160 used their Black Hawks for clandestine night missions and overwater search and rescue. The Army took its Black Hawks to war again in Operation Just Cause, the invasion of Panama in December 1989. In air assaults, UH-60s carried up to 25 soldiers at a time. MH-60s positioned Special Operations Forces to hold key bridges and stall Panamanian units. 25 of the 53 UH-60s committed to the fight received battle damage. 24 of them were flying the next day. During Operation Desert Shield in 1990, MH-60s of the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment took Special Forces deep into Iraq. In Operation Desert Storm in 1991, UH-60s and EH-60s of the 101st Air Assault Division led history's largest air assault deep into Iraq. In combat, Black Hawks inserted and resupplied fighting units, evacuated the wounded, and located and jammed enemy communications. They enabled command and control staffs to keep ahead of the fast-moving desert war. At the height of Desert Storm, over 400 Army Black Hawks were deployed to the Persian Gulf. UH-60s went on to support Kurdish relief operations in Operation Provide Comfort. When Operation Restore Hope sought to stabilize starving Somalia in 1992, UH-60s of the 10th Mountain Division were at the heart of the international humanitarian effort. When Operation Uphold Democracy pressured Haiti's dictator to step down in 1995, 33 Black Hawks of the 82nd Aviation Brigade self-deployed 400 miles over water from the U.S. mainland to Great Inagua Island in preparation for the invasion. 50 Black Hawks flew from the carrier USS Eisenhower to deploy the spearhead of the 10th Mountain Division into Haiti. At the outset of Operation Joint Endeavor in 1996, 50 UH-60s were part of the U.S. Army commitment to peacekeeping forces in Bosnia. Black Hawks are an instrument of United States foreign policy and a powerful asset in domestic emergencies. Active duty and National Guard Black Hawks have evacuated hurricane and flood victims and fought forest fires in the continental United States. In war and operations other than war, the Black Hawk has performed with equal valor. Today's Black Hawk is growing to suit the needs of the U.S. Army on the digital battlefield. The digital battlefield demands interconnectivity and new cockpit displays for Army aviators to exploit real-time command, control, communications, and intelligence opportunities. The MH-60K Special Operations Aircraft and UH-60Q Dust-Off Black Hawk have integrated avionics suites with a MIL-standard 1553B data bus architecture. Black Hawk avionics upgrades derived from those aircraft will make the UH-60 a key player on the digital battlefield. The UH-60Q successfully combines digital interconnectivity, night adverse weather avionics, and a modern medical interior. The UH-60Q gives the Army a dust-off helicopter with range, speed, and survivability. It provides the night adverse weather capability needed for fast-moving brigades on the non-linear battlefield. The UH-60Q affords a higher level of patient care for soldiers wounded in combat and civilians injured in peacetime disasters. National Guard funding in the 1995 Defense Bill paved the way for the UH-60Q development. Today's Black Hawk is powered by twin 1900 shaft horsepower General Electric T700 701C engines. An upgraded transmission and flight controls have allowed the aircraft to increase its gross weight to 23,500 pounds to carry 9,000 pounds external loads. New wide-chord composite main rotor blades and further engine upgrades are available for future performance enhancements. The Army's Aviation Restructure Initiative and Modernization Plan requires 2,126 UH-60s in order to give America its military muscle. The fourth Black Hawk multi-year production contract concludes at the end of 1996. Fiscal 1997 defense legislation includes funding for a new multi-year contract to bridge the shortfall in the Army's utility helicopter fleet. With the Army Black Hawk leading the way, other members of the H-60 family are in service with the United States Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Marine Corps, and Customs Service. In addition, the H-60 is flown by 20 allied nations. Continuing into the 21st century, 20 years of production excellence. The Sikorsky Black Hawk, in war and peace. Black Hawk is America's helicopter.